Hey people, welcome to the channel, and this is going to be maybe a little bit of a longer format video. I'll speak in a more normal voice, given that I'm still recovering from the throat laryngitis thing that I still have going on. Third day of antibiotics. I hope this finally nails it. But yeah, man, I want to do a video about leaving, about immigration, about when you are the one that says, you know what, I'm good, but this is not good for me anymore. Inspired in a large part by this video that I saw from this young woman. The UK is dying and I need to vent. A bunch of these similar. I think this was very good in the way she expressed herself.
Hello, my name is Kate and I'm 29 years old. I am Scottish. 3/4 Scottish, 1/4 Irish, but I spent my whole life in Scotland and consider myself Scottish. However, since June of this year, 2024, I haven't lived in Scotland or any part of the UK. Firstly, I lived in Greenland for 4 months, which is very random, but I had a really...
Yeah, well, you know where this is going. I think that here she makes a nice resume. Too long didn't watch sort of. I recommend leaving the UK in 2025. It's a very stressful place to live. I predict just the beginning. You only get one shot in life, and I'm not spending it working for barely any money helping others people become millionaires. F that. That's actually very well put. It's about the economy that a group of people chose to take a certain way. Brexit will be part of that. The immigration changes are part of that as well. People got lied to about how well things would go from that point on. People got lied to in terms of how well the NHS would be. People got lied to in terms of immigration. All of a sudden, we would take back control and you would no longer see all of these immigrants taking your jobs. All of a sudden, you didn't start seeing any more immigrants from Europe. You started seeing a heck lot more of immigrants from Africa, right? Which, maybe that's not what you had in mind when you thought of voting to leave the European Union and the waves of those Europeans coming to take jobs and whatnot. Whatever your position is in life, there's a good chance you may be somewhat thinking like this young woman here. Kate, is her? Anyway. And as someone that has gone through this myself, as someone that, in many ways, I grew like this, living in different places and so on. Yeah, I'm originally from Argentina, but I lived in other countries and moved quite a bit when young. And it's when you do that, when you're used to it, or when you did it enough times, especially at a younger age, it's really not all that, it's not as traumatic as it can be for some people that never even thought of doing something like that. And you realize you're not a damn tree. You can go one way or the other, or go back home. That's always an option. You're not freaking glued to where you're going. So it's not, but if, and sure, time goes by, right? That's also something that you need to keep in mind when it's not good. When things are not good, you also need to understand this is my life, man. She says the UK is dying. I'm barely making a living. I'm just making other people rich. I'm being exploited, right? In all aspects. My country has been taken over by other people, and those other people now actually do control things. Those other people make sure they don't go to jail when they do the things that are stomach revolting, vomit inducing for most civilized people in this world. And that's the accepted way of living now, right? And that's what they do with children, with girls and whatnot. And you're tired of all of this crap. So what advice do I have for you in this regard? Well, the first thing I will say is, again, having done this myself more than once, having lived actually in UK for quite a bit, spent 4 years living in UK, lived in Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is part of UK. A lot of people, it's Ireland. Well, depends who you ask. Very interesting place, Ireland. But yeah, it's one of those things where you go, what should I do? There's people that have this, right? This stuff, but it's my country. Is it really? Is it still your country, or is it now their country? Has it already fallen to them? Yeah, you choose whoever them is for you. But it's not fucking Harry Potter land anymore, my friend. It is not. It is not the. You just need to walk around a little bit, see for yourself. I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, this is one of those moments in which you need to understand, okay, this is what it is. I can either accept it, right, and move on, and that's also perfectly fine. You can start dressing in a more appropriate. You can start changing your dress code and fit with the new locals and adopt their religion and their culture and their way of life, or you could just become a minority in your own country and stick to your culture as it slowly dies, right? You have those two options. I think it has reached that critical. I'm not even being ironic or anything. I honestly think that it's beyond contestation that it has reached that critical point. You can't argue against it. It's just you're a minority in your own country, and it's going that way, which for many folks in the Western world, it's not aligned with our traditional Christian values. You can just choose to not be affected by it, try to stay in your bubble as you get surrounded by what the majority has now become, and just deal with that. Or you can say, yeah, fuck that. Life is too short, like the lady here says. I'm going somewhere else. I'm doing other things. Yeah. I would say, yeah, go do it. Living where I was living in Northern Ireland, we had none of that. You know why? Because I carefully selected that place because I knew what I would find. I would find a lot of people that had a pretty heavy baggage in terms of recent history with the Troubles, right? So you have some very, very traditional English-minded people that are very loyalist to the ideas of what UK is supposed to be. And then you have a lot of people that are very traditional in terms of what Ireland is supposed to be. And those people would usually not mingle much. But you know what? I'm not disturbed by either one. I'm just more the live and let live kind of mentality. And I got fun. We got along great. For us, it was a great experience living in Northern Ireland, where a lot of people thought, well, what? That place is war-torn hell. That's it. No, it is definitely much better than anything you find in England, anywhere. No doubt whatsoever. It's quite shocking. It is. Northern Ireland is what people expect to see when visiting London, right? You think you're and all of a sudden you're in the Middle East. Well, Northern Ireland is a lot more like what England is supposed to be than what it actually is, and that is pretty ironic, pretty sad too. But in a small town, in a place like here, we were fine. We were great. It was awesome. As an Argentine in UK, most people didn't even know where where an Argentine is, where Argentina even is. Most people didn't even know that we had been at war, right? And no one gave a damn. We had a wonderful experience. Within days, we were the house in which all of the kids from the neighborhood would just drop by. There were times, I kid you not, we were like with my wife drinking coffee in our kitchen, and we would see like a kid walk, and I was like, who's that fucking little kid? And my wife looked at me, I have no idea. Just little children walking across our kitchen and living room and going to play video games or going upstairs to one of the kids' rooms and running out, and it was awesome. At some point I was like, that kid is way too young. I think he's lost. We went with him trying to find his house, found the parents, and, hi, yeah, oh, you're the new neighbors. Yeah, is this your son? Yeah, Sam. What? Okay, so is it okay? He was at our place. Yeah, sure, yeah. He's not bothering you. No, he's like fucking 5-year-old, But it's okay for him to come to our place alone on the street? Yeah, sure. It's a little cul-de-sac. Well, we had our neighbor that was pretty fast there, heavy on the fucking foot, which I didn't like. He was like driving too fast for a cul-de-sac where lots of kids were playing. But eventually he moved away and whatnot. But that was it. It was really super friendly. But of course, there's little things that the weather, for example, that was maybe the worst thing for us. Eventually kind of gets to you, especially when you're used to, a lot more sun and nicer weather. But for years, it was fantastic. Now, that's not what our friend here is experiencing, right? It's not only about the personal circumstances that you may be in terms of employment and jobs and such like that and stuff like that, but also what you're seeing in one place and the other is completely different. The reality that you see living in a place that is overwhelmed, it's been taken over by these gangs, by these people that have changed the place you live in. You can't deny that. Right? You just can't deny that. That's just, it is something you may not be willing to put up with, combined with an economy that is definitely worse than when I was over there, far, far worse. And a government running out of money, right? Running out of money. And it shows. The NHS is a complete disaster, and safety on the streets is just... So what is it you do? Well, you have options. You have the option of go trying, especially if you're young, right? If you don't have any, if you're single, dear God, for crying out loud, go. Get the fuck out of there and go. Even just for the experience. You're single. You have no family, no kids. You have no one that counts on you. Go. Try it out. If you have fun, if it works maybe a year or two, then you want to go back home to UK, you just go. But there is obviously a huge number of people that are leaving and not coming back, right? We left our old lives in Britain for the sun in Australia and have no intention of ever going back. Here's why. You should consider it too. This is just one of those pieces from the Daily Mail, But yeah, it is definitely one of those places. And Australia is going to be pretty far away. I don't know how. Let me know if you know in the comments about if there's any kind of special visa being from UK and Australia. I guess it is because it's still Commonwealth, right? So there should be something there. But there's people going lots of places. There's people going to France, to Italy, to Spain, to Portugal. I think that in any of those places, you have a fair shot of living better than what you have as of this moment in UK. UK is in very bad shape. Waiting and just wasting your life away when you made up, when you understood that it's just not gonna go the way you want, makes no sense. And whether I don't know what the hell is wrong with this picture here, but dude, that is not a short for a man, and it seems to be missing something there. Nothing. But you have people that have made entire lives in other in places like I would not go to Australia. Really, God damn it, is in terms of government overreach is as bad as UK, maybe if not more. But talk about countries that have governments that are extremely intrusive and controlling the population. I'd probably go to somewhere else, but there's people that have gone there and are super happy. You will definitely have more of like-minded people. You will definitely not have the same Asian gang-related problems that you have in UK. The economy is going to be quite a bit better too. And more of a chill lifestyle under the sun. That's going to be a massive plus. And there's stories like these. Again, the thing is, you always have the option of moving back if you're not happy. Didn't work for you. I've seen this many times myself. I've seen people that, yeah, man, I'm going here, there, and then it just doesn't work for them. So, yeah, I don't want to make the video tremendously long, but don't overthink it too much. Usually I will tell people to be, don't jump to things. Take your time. But if you took your time, if it's been over a year that this has been in your head and you're more sure than ever that this is probably what you want to do, a year is going to be a long time, right? It's not I'm just so pissed because of this that I read on the news and this and that, and it's just no. If it's been like a year that you've been, man, that this is something I'm just not putting with any of this shit anymore. Okay, maybe it's time to give it a shot. It's not as if you're moving to freaking Mars. You can't go back if it's not for you, if it didn't work out. At the very least, you come back with a new experience. And that's always something valuable. It's probably going to be, even if it's not something that becomes permanent, it is going to be without a doubt one of the experiences that you will remember the most fondly for the rest of your life. That very much can trust me on, because that's one of the things I can very much confirm. Okay, guys, that's gonna be this short. Where's the rest of it? See you on our next one. Take care. Have a great day. And if you want to learn more about all of these things, especially regarding relocating, bugging out, and that sort of stuff, you have my books, which are available in the links there below, which I strongly recommend you get, so as to get better prepared. Take care.